to the channel today. I'm going to do a little tutorial for you all. I've had quite a lot of compliments on a few pages that I've done recently that have had like backgrounds, like sky backgrounds with clouds. I'll just see if I can find one that I did. Yeah, I thought it would be a nice idea just to share with you all how quick and easy it was to achieve that look. Oh gosh, where is the page that I did? Hold on, guys. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this background here, I've done it in a couple of books since I've done this, but this was the very first one I believe that I did. It's really easy, simple, and it just looks really pretty on, you know, a lot of backgrounds. I've used it in, I think, like 3 or 4 pages since. So I'm going to show you how I did that, and just in case you're wondering, this is the Million Mermaids Magical Creatures to colouring book by Lulu Mayo, and I'm going to show you guys how I did it on this background here. I really need to get some clips to hold my books flat. So basically what you need to do first is put down a backwash. Now I've used, for all of the ones that I've done, I've been using Neocolor 2s. I'm pretty sure you can do it with like watercolors, would be, because they're practically the same. Yeah, you could probably just do it with watercolors, like a light wash of watercolors. Obviously just bear in mind how much water you're putting on the page, because you don't want it to, you know, seep through to the other side. I've done that quite a few times. But yeah, so I'm going to be using the Neocolor 2s again today, just because that's what I found I prefer to do this background with. The 2 colours that I'm going to be using are the turquoise blue and also the light blue. So as you can see, I have used this one quite a bit. So yeah, I've got my paintbrushes as well. You will also need either some white acrylic or gouache paint, or like any sort of like cheaper paint. I've been using the Arteza gouache, just white. You can add a little bit of grey if you wanted to, you know, define your clouds a little bit more, but I'm just going to keep it basic for you all and just show you how I would normally do my backgrounds. So to put down my first layer, I'm gonna take the lid of my Neocolors. I really need to get the palette. I prefer to do this method because I find if I'm putting it directly on the page, sometimes I still get those crayon lines and I don't like that. So all I'm doing is just taking the tin lid, you can see the glare of my light there, taking the lid of the tin, and I'm literally just scribbling down some pigment. I'm making sure I put plenty enough down just in case I need more, but it's always to use more than it is to use less. Right, so that's that one done. I'm also going to put a little bit down of the light blue. You don't need much of the light blue, I just use it for sort of like shadowing and contrast. You don't notice it all that much, but it's a nice subtle contrast. So to do the wash on the background, I'm gonna, this brush might be a little bit too big, but we'll go with it anyway for now. So I've just got some cheap, well, this is just a cheap paintbrush. It's a flat one. It's just easier, I find, for doing background areas. All I'm going to do is activate the Neo colour pigment that I want to use. I'm going to make sure I've got a fair amount of water in there. And then I'm just gonna start filling in this background space. Now you can make it as dark or as light as you want. I tend to build up my colour so that I get it to how I want it to look. I'm not being particularly careful with this either. This is just a tutorial. And if I do come to complete this page, Neo colours are quite easy to go over anyway, so yeah, it shouldn't be much of a problem. So just putting down this first colour. This is the turquoise blue that I'm using first. I will go in those smaller areas with a smaller brush. I just want to get the main area covered. I'm going to take my smaller brush now. And just go in all these lighter areas. This is still using the turquoise blue. Right, now that the base layer is done, I'm gonna take my small brush and I'm gonna activate the light blue, because that's what we're gonna want to use for our shadowed areas. I'm just kind of keeping to the edges. But if I was to do this on a bigger background, I would probably put a bit of shadow in behind the clouds. Yeah, but you can always go back in and add that afterwards. Yeah, like I said, you don't need Neo colours to be able to do this. Probably watercolours will be absolutely fine. Yeah, maybe even like just pencils or pastels. I'm sure a lot of different materials can be used. This is just my preference. I do apologise for my arm getting in the way. Trying to keep these blends quite soft if I can. Right, now once you've got your shadows where you want them, I mean, you can leave it to dry, you don't have to, it depends on what you're using. If you're using watercolours, I would leave it to dry first, but these Neo colours do dry pretty quickly, so yeah, I'm just going to prep my paint. Excuse my Christmas plate. I've got tons of them left over from last year, so they've just come in super handy for little paint palettes. Right, so I'm just going to pop down a bit of white. And I'm not going to need that anymore. Right, so now we've got our white. I'm going to take quite a small brush. I'm using a modelling brush. It's a flat one, and this is size 0. And these brushes are fantastic if you're wanting to do like detailing or anything like that on any pages. They're brilliant. I think I got mine in a set of 12 or 14, and there's all different sizes and like shapes of brushes, and they're brilliant. If you want like good detailing brushes, I definitely recommend modelling brushes. Right, so now we've got this done, I'm gonna get a bit of white, not too much, just on the paintbrush, and all I'm gonna do is just dab with the paintbrush and create the cloud shapes that I want. Now I'm not doing full clouds because sometimes when you look at clouds they kind of fade into the blue. So I'm just kind of doing the top line and then lightening it as I get down. And then we're just gonna place our clouds kind of wherever we feel like we want them. I just think it's a nice way to fill in a lot of open space. I mean, it's not going to work for every picture, but outdoorsy pictures definitely. And I'm sure you can do something similar with like a night sky, a sunset even. I mean, it's quite, you could do quite a lot with it. I'm going to place one just here. I like to do the clouds sort of half forming from behind objects as well, just so, you know, because when you're looking out your front, like out your window or something, and you've got other houses, you can see like clouds popping out from behind them. It just makes it more realistic. But, you know, you can put them wherever you feel that they should be. And they can be all different sizes, all different shapes. No two cloud is the same, so and if you feel like your first cloud wasn't white enough, or, you know, like bright enough, you can go back in and just build it up until you're happy with it. I'm not really using much water with this either, just because with gouache paints, the more water you add, the more translucent they kind of become. They become more of a watercolour, don't they? So yeah, I'm using barely any water. Just gonna add a bit more white to this one. Just a little one up here. Right, and that's pretty much it, to be honest. It's quite simple. You just put down a base layer and then add your clouds over the top. But I'm going to show you one that I did. I added grey. So this is on a larger scale. But yeah, as you can see, I've added like a slight bit of grey in between the clouds just to add more definition to them, make them look more like three-dimensional. And I've also added a little bit of shadow in behind the clouds as well. But yeah, it can be a brilliant background for all sorts of pages. And it's, like I said, it's quick and easy. That took me, what, maybe like 15-16 minutes to do that page, that background. Obviously the bigger the page, the more it's going to take, but it's so quick and easy, and I hope you know, it gives you guys some ideas for backgrounds, because I know a lot of people struggle with background ideas, or they're too scared to do the more complex kind of ideaed backgrounds. So this is a really simple one to try, especially if you're new to doing backgrounds. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna leave it there, and I hope it's helped you guys, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye.